Good morning, supply chain world. It is Monday morning, April 14th here in Texas. Uma is jumping on this morning. She's going to be my co-host. We're going to see how this goes for the second ever live events, calendar of events update. And so, Uma, you want to just take a quick second while I adjust some things here and introduce yourself?
Yes, of course. I'm Uma Taylor. I was invited to co-host with Nathan Cheney. Maybe I'm a little quirky, but I do have a little bit insight and a little bit of knowledge when it comes to the supply chain industry. I sit on the board of ISM, and I am also a 3PL. So we have our own warehouse and trucks. So that's what I do. So I'm the one that get our hands, dirty out there and boots on the ground. So if you need to know anything about supply chain, about trucking and the warehousing side, bonded warehousing, talk to me.
Start these things off by talking about what happened last week. We had TIA Capital events. The freight movement guys were having a road tour event. This was going on in San Antonio. And Freight Movement and Broker Carrier Summit are some friends of ours, friends of the Supply Chain Social Club. And so they look like they had a great event going on there in San Antonio.
Oh, yeah.
Were you by
That
chance
looks
there,
really
Uma?
good. No, I wasn't. I wish I was there. Looks like a party. Look at that. Looks
It's a
like y'all
bit of
had
a
a lot of
party.
fun.
Where were you last week, Uma?
I was at the NCBFAA. So it was the National Customs Brokers and Freight Forwarders Association National Annual Conference. So we didn't have a lot of party going on there. Everyone was talking about the tariffs, and everyone is upset. Everyone's like, "Oh my God, what's going to happen next?" So we all put our little brains together, and we were talking about it, trying to figure things out. It's been difficult, but we're trying to find solutions. The freight forwarders and the customs brokers, they are so strong and they're such a force. Know that you have people out there who can give you answer. Research, research, research.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a great place to be. I think it's remarkable. And oh my God, people are so smart. When I went there, everyone's like, I was like, oh my God, I'm like in this nerd room. I shouldn't be saying that, but
Uh-huh.
it's like so incredible. So I did that last week.
Are you
And
seeing are you seeing my screen right now? Are you seeing
Yeah, I am.
yourself?
I didn't even know. I wasn't even tagged on that. Like,
You're not
I
even
just,
tagged. And I was scrolling through
no,
just to look at pictures and I was like, oh my gosh, it's Uma. She is everywhere.
I
So it looks
am.
like you were
I am.
captured in this picture that's talking about first timers. So was this your first time to that?
Yes, it was
Okay.
my first time there. I did have I had a quite good connections that I've made. I've made some friends, and it's an amazing event to be. I suggest 100% for people to be there. Also, you will be making a lot of decision makers. It's not just typically the salespeople are there because the CEOs are there. It's also a learning place. So you have speakers and everything that you can actually sit and listen to what's happening currently, so you don't feel blindsided when somebody comes and asks you anything about tariffs or anything like that. Of
Yeah.
course, they have their monthly meetings in every state, so you might want to look into that as well. Just be in the know.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, which is like a pretty big hot topic these days,
Right.
of global trade and everything. Um, Maybe moving on here to the next little section here, I just want to give a quick shout out to CSCMP, who's one of the sponsors for this calendar of events update. They want to just kind of let you all know that their annual State of Logistics report is coming out on June 3rd, and they're actually going to have a live event to present the findings on June 3rd in New York. I think like the time, place, date on the details is still coming out, but if you want to mark your calendars for being present for that, I would encourage you to do so. And then also a fun little thing going on in June as well with CSCMP is their European summit and seminar going on, and that's going to be in Verona, Italy. I don't know. I don't plan that far ahead, funnily enough, I guess. So I'm not sure if I'll be there or not. Maybe I'll pop in and say hello. But
Yeah.
there's a couple things to just be on the lookout for CSCMP. And shout out to them and thanks for their support for this. Um,
Yep.
let's take a look, Uma, at like what's going on this week here.
Yeah, of course.
Talk through. So not much goes on Mondays or Fridays in supply chain networking world. What's your take? Do you see that happening there in Houston?
Yes, it's the same thing here. Even the golf events on Tuesday, I'm going for one tomorrow, actually.
Uh-huh.
The Houston Transportation Club, they're actually having their scholarship, they're raising scholarship with their golf event tomorrow. So I'll
Hmm.
be there tomorrow. But yeah, on Wednesday, that's the day that we at ISM, we're going to have the Customs and Port Connection little event. Is a networking event
Hmm.
where you're going to be learning about how customs actually exam goods when they come into the U.S. So we are going to be briefed by customs officers. They're going to talk to us, tell us what they look for, what is the red flags, and it's going to be pretty interesting. And then we're going to go to the port itself. We're going to get briefed about what happens in the port, everything that goes on.
Hmm.
We'll have a little boat tour. And Nathan, I believe you're going to be here with us.
Yes, yeah, I'm going to roll down to Houston and participate. I've done a port tour of the Port of Long Beach by boat. I think with CSCMP. I think it was part of a leadership conference some years ago, and it was pretty cool. And so, when you get every opportunity you can to like get into a facility or go out where logistics happens, where the rubber meets the road, it's such a great opportunity. You get so much
Hmm.
learning out of being in the environment.
Yeah.
When I saw that pop up, I was like, got to do this. And then when I saw the Myborg and Custom Goods and everyone was participating, I was like, okay, I definitely have to join that.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to thank Customs Goods, the Port of Houston, and Myborg for sponsoring this event. It's a remarkable one. There's going to be people there from all different walks of life. So you'll have the decision makers from oil and gas industries, also students who are looking and learning about this whole supply chain industry. It's funny because I hardly meet anybody who wants to do supply chain, right?
Uh-huh.
And I go to these events, I see this group of students that come in, they're like, yeah, we're here to learn. And I'm like, wow, they're actually young people who's going to
Yeah,
take
yeah.
over. And, it's amazing.
Yep, yep. Well, let's roll through a little bit more of what's going on. So, actually, I'm going to unfortunately miss the ISM Fort Worth event that's going to be going on Tuesday night because I'm going to be rolling down to Houston that evening. But they've got a pretty big event going on that they're actually sort of co-hosting with CSCMP, which is why on the calendar here you see both ISM link and a CSCMP link for the same event. So it's kind of a joint event between the two of them. And Amanda Prochaska is going to talk, and she is the Chief Wonder Officer from Wonder Services. And that's going to be at the City Club of Fort Worth. That's going to be Tuesday evening. So for those of you all in town, I would encourage you all to check that out. Then we kind of zoom over to Wednesday, and we've got the port tour. The other thing happening on Wednesday is a busy week for me, I guess, and people that I know,
Definitely.
because there's also Win-Win Wednesday, which I heard about, which
Yes.
is Camille looks like she organizes there in Houston for supply chain folks. I think I see you in that picture there,
Yes.
Uma. So
Yes.
can you
So,
tell a little bit about that event?
of course, of course. So Win-Win Wednesday started by this lady named Angelica from Cocoon Logistics.
Okay.
From me, so I started as well, and Camille. So the three of us got together and we started this thing. We are like, we just want to start something where everybody in supply chain is involved, not just one person from one walk of life. So
Yeah.
we got even the people from the Mexican consulate involved. So we have people, businessmen from Mexico who would attend this. And the other day we were talking about, what people are bringing in. This guy was, oh, I'm bringing vials of Botox from Mexico. I'm like, oh, wow. So you've got different people, different walks of life who's just there. Trucking companies, warehousing companies, customs brokers, freight forwarders, manufacturers. So whoever it is that is in the supply chain industry, come hang out with us. This is something we do every third or fourth Wednesday of the month.
Hmm.
It's a place that we say that everybody wins, right? And Spindle Tap and Lightning Logistics, they are so gracious. Adam Wright, he allows us to use this space just to open up, and he's a way of giving back to the supply chain community. So it's
Hmm.
been incredible, and the
Awesome.
turnout has been really good. I'm excited that you're going to join us this time around too.
Yeah. Well, it's like when it rains, it pours a little bit. I don't know how to say no. So we've got the Port Houston, the port tour and the education sort of presentation during the day. Then we've got Win-Win Wednesday from 5 to 7 there. And then I'm going to find a little dark corner to go hang out in, because we've got the next Warehousing After Dark starting immediately after Win Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central. And that's going to be our April edition of the Warehousing After Dark event that we co-host with the New Warehouse podcast and Kevin Lawton. And that's usually a pretty good time. Uma, you've come to a number of those. Maybe, I'm going to try just hop on for 30 minutes or 45 minutes and just get it started, and then like go back to the in real life party, I guess, maybe that might still be going on.
Yeah, it will be, because it's Win Wednesday. My book sponsors those events as well, so it'll be great. We'll have a bunch of people there. We try to shut down by 8, but it never happens, so we allow people to stay on.
Yeah.
It's typically also steak night, so if anybody wants to have steak, that's the day you have it.
Sign me up. I'll take the filet. All right. So we've got Warehousing After Dark on the 16th on the Wednesday night as well. Back here at home, Transportation Club of DFW is hosting their monthly social at a place called Crush It, where it's got like all the simulation screens that you can throw balls at and hit things at it, and simulate stuff. It's a cool spot in Grapevine, and again, I don't think I'm going to make it back into town to get to it, but for those of you all that are in town, I encourage you all to take a look. Also Thursday night, it's like, again, Thursday nights are definitely the networking and party nights, I think, in the industry. And so ASCM is also having an event that is going to be at Boomer Jacks. And I guess the question I'm asking myself is it at the one in Grapevine, which is right next to Crush It? No, it's the one in Plano. Okay, so if you're on the northeast side of DFW, you've got the ASCM networking event. If you're in central DFW near the airport, then you've got the Transportation Club of DFW event to check out. I think I will maybe just kind of start to wrap this bad boy up this morning by just giving a quick shout out to our sponsors for the Warehousing After Dark event on the 16th, which is RoboWorks, Master Plan Communications, and InstaWork. And actually, RoboWorks did a podcast with me that was Dale Walsh, and it went live last week. The idea is for folks that are considering joining in the Warehousing After Dark event, go check out the podcast with Dale, learn a little bit about what they do there at RoboWorks, and then their team and Dale will be at the Warehousing After Dark event on Wednesday night. So you can go talk to him more about kind of what RoboWorks does, which is they basically do like maintenance on all the automation and robots and that sort of stuff that goes on within warehouses or manufacturing facilities. So
yeah, and I love the Warehousing After Dark. It's such an incredible event. I love the bar setup that you guys have, and you can just like click on any tables and just sit there and chat one-on-one with people.
Yeah.
I've had so much insights from so many people, and it's just it's a fun environment because you're at home, you sort of relax, you unwind, and you can have a little glass of wine and talk to somebody with the stress not built up on your shoulders. But it's such a good environment. I would suggest anybody to just be there for the Warehousing After Dark. It's amazing.
Yep. Oh, and a quick shout, I guess, later on in the month, you and I are kind of helping. We're putting together The Source event at the Supply Chain Social Club. It'll be the first one. This will be the event series that's for procurement and sourcing folks. And we're partnering up with a bunch of ISM chapters around the U.S. to put that together. So cheers and thanks for helping put that together, Uma. Any thoughts? Maybe close us out talking about ISM Houston and just procurement and sourcing. Quick plug for that event.
Yeah, I mean, ISM Houston has been a great place. With the certifications, I don't know if a lot of people understand that a place like ISM Houston actually provides certification. So you can have those little extra alphabets in the back of your name. But it's a great place to learn for your resourcing and, meet people most of them are within the oil and gas industry too. So you have a chapter in your state. Go find out where it's at. I think in Houston, we have one in Houston. We have one in Dallas. I don't know if we have, no, we do not have one in San Antonio. Mm-hmm. But we do have, hey, we have it around the nation. Find one in your area and go and get yourself involved. It's very worth it.
Yeah. Yep. And for all of your sort of event and networking and scheduling needs, I would just point people to check out supplychainy.com/events, which is the aggregated calendar where a lot of these events hang out. And if there's events that you've got coming up that you want to promote, that you want to make sure are on the calendar, maybe come on to the Monday morning events broadcast and join in like Uma here. Give me a quick shout and we'll get it set up. Otherwise, for everyone that's out traveling, building their networks and building their business this week, have fun and be safe out there. See you later, Uma.
All right, you have a good day. Bye.